This is Thomas Grana with GoPro Media and Equipment, and today we're going to be talking about ND filters from PolarPro for the Hero 8. So check it out, I just got this UPS box in the mail. What else we got in here? We got the PolarPro Shutter Collection ND8 16 and 32. We have filters, both the Cinema series and the snorkel type filters that go right on over the top of the lens. PolarPro has also had their Cinema filters that essentially just twist right on and off of the camera, and then also have the filters that go over the camera's lens. But with this year, Hero 8 not having a removable lens and having a little bit smaller, thinner profile, PolarPro has released something different. So today we'll be checking out the Shutter Collection. Right off the bat, we got a hard case, which I assume the filters are in. Looks like a lens cloth. And some documentation, maybe? The Shutter Collection. Oh, some stickers, warranty card. Explore some of the other things in their lineup. Thank you. And a filter guide. Oh, nice. Reduces shutter speed to cinematic levels in bright conditions. So what does that mean? ND filters are kind of like sunglasses for your camera, and when you put sunglasses on, instead of having to squint, you can really open your eyes. And in terms of cameras, that's deals with kind of like the automatic ISO and shutter that's inside the GoPro. So when you add a lens over it, essentially slows down the shutter to have it open for longer, which in terms of video creates a blur. Open it up, and you can see a little filter attachment along with your filters that look like it snaps on over the lens, because again, the Hero 8 does not have a removable lens like the 7, 6, and 5 did. It's a little bit more flush and low profile. What they have done is kind of created a little camera caddy or camera cradle that hooks on around the back of the camera. Kind of snugs this back corner, gives it a nice hug. You can see these just snap. Oh, that was easy. That just snaps right on and off and feels super secure. The build is plastic, it's not more durable like the build of the GoPro camera. So you probably wouldn't want to be smashing these around. Obviously, being a lens and a filter over the top, you'd want to be more careful than just taking your GoPro and exposing it to the elements. But these feel magnetic, they find their spot and just click right on. Pretty nifty, PolarPro. Alright, I'm back, and that first part that I filmed was actually filmed yesterday, so went back out to test today, and it went a lot better. So for neutral density filters, there's a lot of photo use cases, but today specifically I was testing video use cases. And with neutral density filters, it's essentially to affect your shutter angle. If you're unfamiliar with what shutter angle is, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that'll explain more in depth than probably what I can, but the quick and dirty is you're essentially wanting to double your shutter speed for whatever your frame rate is. So today I was filming in 4K 30, so I wanted a shutter speed of 60. And the whole idea between shutter angle and controlling your shutter speed is to essentially get a realistic amount of motion blur. And it's all in an effort to get a more cinematic shot. Do I recommend this for everybody? Not necessarily. I myself don't even need it a lot of the time, but it does make for a more cinematic shot. So I went out yesterday, and just with it being kind of foggy and overcast, it didn't necessarily work out the best. So I went back out today and hopped on the boosted board and used a side-by-side rig to compare the footage. But so for today's use case, I used two Hero 8 blacks, and I rigged one of them up with the ND16. I have the side-by-side system, so what this does allows you to mount two GoPros next to each other, and I put it on this Rhino pole. For the side-by-side test today, I was doing 4K 30 wide, and to kind of dive in here a little bit more, I turned off the hyper smooth on both cameras to essentially eliminate any crop that the camera might have. And for Pro Tune, I have my bitrate set at high, and the shutter started at 1/60. Again, that's double your frame rate. So frame rate 4K 30, I'm at 1/60. And you'll notice in the first shot that I do, the Hero 8 without the filter is overexposed, but the GoPro with the ND16 on it is properly exposed. So then for the second shot that I did, I turned the shutter down to auto, so allowing the camera to take control of what shutter speed it should use. And in this shot, you'll be able to see that the ND16 Hero 8 has a little bit more motion blur to it. Finally, for the last shot that I did, I went back to my hyper smooth option and turned it to high. I didn't do the boost. I didn't think I needed it quite that much, but it does add the 10% crop, so you'll see it a little bit more cropped in, both on auto shutter speed, one of them having the ND16, one of them no filter at all. So they're selling this for $59.99, go $60 off their website. Do I think that's worth it? Depending on what you're going for. In my situation, probably don't need these, but it definitely ups the cinematic quality of my footage. But if you're a professional that absolutely loves that type of footage, I would definitely recommend it. Overall, I think these are awesome filters. They definitely allow you to achieve a more cinematic look to your footage. They're not essential for everyday use, but if you'd like me to test any other use cases for these, get some real world examples going, use that side-by-side mount a little bit more, shoot me a comment. Until next time, it's been real. Peace.